This is Legend of the Galactic Heroes 2008 RTS video game released for PC and maybe Xbox. I don't know. You can use an Xbox controller even on this PC version if you want to, but I don't know why you would want to use an Xbox controller on a RTS game. It was only released in Japan, and the original price was apparently around $100. I don't know how many yen that is, but that's a lot of dollars for a short game like this. But I think this game holds up. This game is pretty good. This game, like I said, was only released in Japan, which means the game is in Japanese. Oh, there's loud music right now. However, you can download a partial English patch, which partial is a very generous term. It's not, I would say, only a small, slight little fraction is actually translated into English. So I'm gonna do little translation work here. I myself know only grade 1 level Japanese, quite literally, but I'm gonna do my best. So first, let's look at the menu. The menu is pretty simple, actually. I'm just gonna go through what they mean, these buttons here. You're only gonna utilize like 4 of these anyway. So the top one is campaign. It's the main highlight, the actual campaign you can play. There is 32 missions, 14 of which are with the Free Planets Alliance, and 18 of which is with the Galactic Empire. It begins with... oh, goddammit. If you haven't watched the OVA or read the novels, you probably should play this game because it has spoilers in it. This game is also a visual novel. It has some cutscenes, but like I said, they're in Japanese. So if you can't read Japanese, or you can't read the kanji that well, you can just skip them by pressing ESC. The second button is a single battle, just a single battle against the AI. You get to choose which admirals participate, how many ships, and all that jazz. Then it's multiplayer, but this uses Microsoft Live, and it's quite an old game, so you can't play multiplayer. Then is tutorial, and if you cannot read Japanese, the tutorial is kind of useless to play. And the tutorial is quite straightforward. It treats you like you never played an RTS game before, effectively. This game is very intuitive and easy to understand, but you should not underestimate the campaign missions, because I do believe they're actually kind of challenging. Then is options, then is guide, and the last one is exit game. So the only buttons you really gotta worry about is campaign, single battle, options, and leave game. I'm gonna go to the options. Now this, okay, look at this. Look at this amazing patchwork. Now I should be that mean. If I could translate this game myself, I can make a patch, I probably would, but I don't know how to do that. But this is quite literally what it does. It gives you these translations. Originally these were in katakana, but now they're in English. Cool. So this is the game settings. This one here, I believe it does something to the minimap. I'm probably gonna test that. This is the graphic settings, and yeah, you can see high, low, medium. If you have just put them on high or whatever. I might put some text up, like what each graphical setting does. Boom. Maybe it is up. I don't know if I'm lazy. Next up is audio. These are not translated, but... Then is keybinds. Now, the keybinds are Japanese, but you can probably play around here and understand a little by doing testing. For example, you know that these are camera controls, or you can at least assume they are camera controls, and these zoom, but you can also use the middle mouse wheel if you want to zoom out or not. These are the quick select for your fleets. You can have maximum 4 fleets under your command, and yes or no quick selects. And then if you want to use the Xbox controller, well, here it is. I'm gonna show you a single battle. Maybe I can show you this screen. This is the campaign screen. As you can see, you get ratings from each battle, and yes, I know there's a D there, and I know I haven't finished the Free Planets Alliance campaign. It's actually somewhat challenging when compared to the King Audit or the Galactic Empire side. So these 3 buttons, I'm gonna quickly explain what they do. This was load save, the top one. This one is start a new campaign, and this is return to title screen. So if you want to start a new game, or if you want to load your older saves, you just select your slot and do this and that. This is cancel, this is load, and this is delete. So don't delete your saves. If you want to start a new campaign, you go here and select your side. Free Planets Alliance, Galactic Empire, it's quite self-explanatory, and you click that. And if you have the English patch, you get to choose a difficulty in English, but I mean, this is something that didn't even need to be patched because it was quite easy to understand that the top one is easy and the bottom one is very hard. But I don't know, the English patch is kind of it in my opinion translated the portions that didn't need to be translated because they were so self-explanatory. And then this, you click this to begin the campaign, and yeah, I'm gonna show you a battle because that's what everybody's here on. I'm not gonna translate the entire visual novel parts for you now, so I'm just gonna translate the big mechanic things. So in the campaign, it's way more scripted. So you're not gonna have all 4 fleets under your command constantly, and not all admirals. For example, in the initial Battle of Legnica, or the Mission 1 for the Free Planets Alliance, you only have Jan, Ottenborough, and Paeta, and then 1 fleet under your command. And then as you play more, you get more admirals and you get more fleets, and the battles become more bigger and awesome. But it is quite scripted. So now I'm going to show you how a battle works. Firstly, there are 3 different types of maps. There is empty maps like this, where there's nothing else in there except like cosmic dust. There are planetary maps like this Amlitze map here, where there are planets and you have to capture the planets. And if you are a defender, you will automatically lose if the enemy captures all of your planets. And if you're the attacker, you will automatically win if you capture all the planets. And then there are fortress maps, like this. There is Rentenberg. I mean, that's Geiersburg. And then there's Iserlohn, obviously. If I can find it. There. And yes, you can use the fortresses. You can utilize and blast the enemy with the Thor's hammer, and it deals, as you can imagine, a lot of damage. I'm gonna pick one of these planetary maps for now, so I can show you how the planetary combat works. I'm just gonna explain quickly about how the fortresses work. So you have your 4 fleets, right? If you want to use the fortresses' abilities, like the Thor's hammer, you have to have a fleet stationed in the fort. And then you can use the Thor's hammer. The fort also has automatic defense guns that will passively shoot at the enemy if the enemy comes near enough. And you don't have to have a fleet inside the fort for them to actually shoot at the enemy. You only have to have a fleet inside the fort if you want to shoot with the big gun. That's about it. So here you choose which side you're gonna play. I don't know actually if... there is some differences with the sides. Obviously the admirals are different. And there's one different ship on both sides. The Gingatekogun has slightly more powerful ships. In the lore, they actually are more powerful, as Free Planets Alliance ships are just mass-produced ships in the lore, whilst the Galactic Empire ships are a bit more highly manufactured and more powerful. I don't know if it is Galactic Empire ships are a bit more powerful. I'm gonna pick them for now, and I'm gonna just pick easy because this is a demonstration. Here you can pick the minutes, 10 minutes, or just an hour. I'm just gonna take an hour for now. And then points, 90,000 points will be ludicrous. I'm just gonna pick 40,000. I'm not gonna play them battle. I'm just gonna show you how it works. And then you play this. Let me click this. Then you choose your admirals. Now here is one thing. This is the only good thing about the English patch, in my opinion. Now this didn't help me because I can read katakana, but for people who can't read katakana, the names are translated. If you don't have the English patch, these names are written in Japanese or in katakana Japanese. But with the English patch, they actually are translated. This is the only useful thing I found for the English patch, however much because I already knew how to read them. So you can pick for any admiral you want. Everybody's here. However, there are not the prequel admirals don't battle with Bruce Ashby. But you get and yes, you have 4 fleets, or eventually get to 4. And then each fleet has 4 positions. There's the main admiral, there's the advisor admiral, there's the right flank admiral, and the left flank admiral. And yes, you get to fill every position, and you get to decide who goes where, and you get to do the same thing in the campaign. But in the campaign, like I said, you have to gather the admirals. You can autofill admirals here, and then you can clear them here. Let's just autofill them for now, and let's see what I got. Yeah, okay, fine, I don't really care. After that, you get to fill your fleets. So then you fill your fleets. You can click this to clear, and you get to do the same thing in the campaign as well. In the campaign, however, you have restrictions on how many ships you can have, However, you always have maximum of 10 ships. But you have these numbers here, so I can only deploy 4 battleships, and so forth. Alright, so what do you have to look when you're making your fleets? Well, first of all, there are 5 different types of ships, technically 6. There's battleships, fast battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and aircraft carriers, or just carriers. If you are playing on the Free Planets Alliance side, however, you will have battleships, and instead of fast battleships, you will have missile ships. And the rest are same. So the only difference is that you don't have a fast battleship, but a missile ship, as the Free Planets Alliance. Then these are the things you want to look at. Here are the formations. Now these formations, you can have maximum of 4 formations. They're the main admiral's formations and the second formations. So Buro has these 2 formations, and Werner Aldringen has this formation. So combined, they give you these 3 formations, right? So that's how the formations work. Say the Mückenberger and Mittermeier, and you get there. So this is the next thing. So the top one shows the offensive power of your fleet. The middle one shows the defensive power of your fleet. And the bottom one, the maneuverability of your fleet. Now, you can deploy these fleets how, like, manually. Like, you probably want to do one fleet that's very good at attacking, probably commandeered by Bittenfeld. One fleet that has aircraft carriers, and so forth. Or you can just click this button here and it will autofill them. Before we're gonna go to battle, I'm actually gonna explain one thing. So, what's the difference between the admirals, you might ask? Well, they all have their own stats and their special ability. They have their level and their experience. I believe this is experience. So these are the stats. This one here is command. I'm not entirely sure what command does. As far as I am concerned, in the tutorial they do not explain what the command did. I played the tutorial and they did not explain what command does. I think command probably increases your morale and reduces command delay, but I'm not entirely sure. This one here is maneuverability, or speed. This one here is how good in air warfare you are, or in utilizing Valkyries or Spartanians. This one here is a bombardment, or shelling. You know, how good at your ships are at bombarding the enemy with their basic guns. And the last one is defense, and as you can imagine, Bittenfeld is not really good at defense, but good at offense. The defense increases your shield power. Next up comes the special ability. Now, every admiral has their own special ability, which are written in Japanese, and this is why I'm actually thinking about making a separate video where I will go through every single ability for major admirals. Not every admiral because there's so many, but the big ones, like Mittermeier and Reinhardt and Bittenfeld. I will go through their abilities. But these are quite important. I'm gonna go into them more in the battle act. So now that we've fulfilled the fleets, we've given them the ships, we've given the admirals, we can see the stats here, they're quite balanced with everything. Free Planets Alliance. Yeah, Borak, Mozart, we get everybody here. So this is... So you have your fleets. As you can notice, they're split into 4 fleets like here. You can quick select them by pressing F1, F2, F3, F4, or you're just clicking them. And yes, every admiral has their own flagship, which is really cool, and you can zoom in. Reinhardt has Brunhild, Kirchheis has Barbarossa, and so forth. This is Königstiger. You might already notice, oh, Bittenfeld's ships are all black. The Lanzenreiter are all black, which I find to be really cool detail they do. You got Stalin has white ships, but then Bittenfeld has Lanzenreiter. Anyway, let's look at what the ship you can do in this game. So here you have some, like, there's a mini-map. There is the objectives, but yeah, they did not translate the objectives. They only translated Galactic Imp. That's right. This one, Chiu Waxe Dome, so effectively Free Planet Alliance. You can toggle off the grid here if you want to, and this may help you separating your fleet from the enemy. This box here indicates every single admiral that's inside the current selected fleet. And it also shows your Valkyrie fuel, or Spartanian if you're playing the Free Planets Alliance, and then your missile ammunition and the current formation. Well, let's go through these buttons here. Some of these are very intuitive and self-explanatory, like this cancels out your command. This is move or attack. However, I don't know why you want to use this, because you can just mouse 2-click and then drag where you when you want your fleet to look. And it's very important that your fleet looks on the proper direction, because flanking, attacking the enemy's flank or rear deals a lot of damage. Just like in the OVA, you see that attacking from the flank is pretty tough. So you want to attack the enemy from the flank, as the enemy cannot do anything that it cannot retaliate. Next up is missiles. Missiles are, well, quite simple. Oh, the enemy comes. You can see where the missiles are gonna hit, right? And then you fire missiles, yes or no. You can also press Y or N. Y meaning yes, of course. Oh, the battle is already beginning. Let's just turn our fleet. Why not? Let's try to shoot missiles at Bukok. Then you have the Valkyries, or in, like I said, Alliance's side is Spartanians. How you use them? You click them and you have 3 different options you can do. Scouting, attacking the enemy ships, or defending your own ships. Pretty self-explanatory. If you want to scout, you select scout and then click a random spot on the fog of war and it's gonna send 3 planes checking out. If you want to attack the enemy ships, the enemy has to be inside this grid. Let's move them closer. Oh, they're moving their entire fucking fleet here. I'll just move my guys over there as well. Why not? And the last one is defending your own fleet from the enemy Spartanians. So you click this and they will automatically appear as these white balls. Next up is the Admiral's special ability. Like I said, I might do a separate video where I explain all of them. But effectively how they work is that you select your fleet and then select this. See these blue balls here? They're effectively the price of how many of these special points you have to use in order to activate the ability. And like you just see, I just generate a new point, which means I can activate Bittenfeld's ability. The way you generate points is passively or being in combat. If you're in intense combat, you're gonna generate points faster. So when you activate an ability, let's activate Bittenfeld's ability. A small cutscene is gonna play, and this might get really tedious because every time you activate an ability or every time enemy activates ability, this is gonna appear. And you might see this aura that appears on Bittenfeld's ships now. It's red, right? But there's actually a code with the colors. If the aura is red, it means offense to their ability. If the aura is blue, it means defensive boost for the fleet. If the aura is yellow, it means maneuverability or speed boost for the fleet. And if the aura is white, it means a durability recovery boost for your fleet. And I guess I can explain what these bars mean. If the blue bar goes down, the morale, the fleet starts fleeing. Like here of these circles, each one's morale goes down and will begin to flee. Next up, let's look at formations. Okay, let's look at formations. How do they work? So you might see everybody is in this sort of crane wing formation right now. Well, I can change it. And like I said, the formations are determined by your main admiral's formations and the secondary admiral's formations. There are 3 different types of formations. Line formations, defensive formations, and offensive formations. The current one is a line formation. Everybody's in these 2 are offensive formations. So I can click it and write an offensive formation. And each formation here, if you have a line formation like the crane wing we have here, you can do an envelopment. Oh, somebody has an ability, I think. Oh, the purple means that you get a negative effect. So this one is envelopment. If you click an enemy fleet with envelopment, Möckenberger will try to envelop Fisher, but I did it quite far away, it's not gonna happen. If you have an offensive formation, you get to do an offensive formation attack, which is effectively just slamming your fleet into the enemy fleet. Note that when you give a formation order like I just did... Oh, somebody died. Cut down. Of a lesson. Enemy will just... You cannot give orders to your fleet when you give an order like this. Keep that in mind, that's good. But no. Next thing you can do is divide your fleet. So you have your right and left flank. You can divide your right and left flank and create separate sort of fleets. right? So I separated right flank, and here I have Mückenberger's fleet divided, and now I can command Vogel by himself. Oh, Buker died. If the map has asteroids or meteorites, you can also use camouflage to make them less visible. Let's do some planetary combat, because that's the last thing I'm gonna show. So one fleet is now inside this planet. So you're just gonna take a fleet and mouse 2-click, and a battle will occur on the planet. Note, this is very important. Only one of your fleets can be present in a planet's atmosphere. So if you're gonna do combat inside a planet, it's only gonna be 1v1. You cannot overwhelm the enemy there, but you can use this strategically to your advantage as well. If a planet has no fleet inside of it, let's just send Vogel there right now. Actually, let's send entire Mückenberger fleet. There's gonna be passive battle. You see this red bar. After this red bar is emptied, you get control of the planet. And when you're inside a planet, you get to replenish your fuel and your missiles. However, when an enemy fleet is inside of... Oh my god, it's dying. If an enemy fleet is inside a planet and you also enter atmosphere, planetary atmosphere combat is going to begin. So we have combat right here with Bittenfeld's fleet. Well, Bittenfeld just died, so... No, he didn't. Oh, Bittenfeld's still okay. So we gotta fight this battle. These guys are going there. Mückenberg is pretty slow. How slow is he? Yeah, he's pretty fucking slow. But now here's battle. So what's gonna happen here? If you click this button here, you're gonna get into the planetary view. Sometimes these planetary atmosphere battles are very laggy, at least for me. I don't know why. Yeah, it's getting pretty laggy now. These sort of separate battles. By pressing this, you get out of the planetary view. In the campaign, you might have optional victory conditions, like capture a specific planet or kill a specific admiral or so forth. And yeah, that's really about it. This game is very awesome, and I really recommend you're gonna play this. There's really not much to it. It's quite simple. Not that much more difficult than Total War, say. But you should not underestimate the campaign. It's actually somewhat difficult. And you get to listen to the amazing music and see awesome combat. So that's about it. See ya.